Picked up Sunset Harbor. Pretty interesting. When you load it up, they give you the little overview of the expansion. Hey, Chunky, how's it going? Checking out Sunset Harbor. I think I'm going to chop this up and probably put it up on YouTube. Some sort of tutorial-like series for this. I haven't played the game in a little while. I think the prior expansion was the campus one, which I have, but I didn't play much of. I played it briefly just to sort of check it out, but Industries was the last one that I really dug deep into. But Sunset Harbor looked kind of interesting. Some of these mechanics, kind of neat, changing the lifespan of your citizens here with elder care services. I don't know if they've had mechanics that have really done that before. Remember me. I do remember you, Chunky. I do remember. You were an OG, so to speak, of the channel. Childcare, blah 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 blah. Childcare services, and then the metro. They make it so it can go overground now, which kind of surprised. Took them that long to do that, and then adding fishing as an industry. I wonder if this is going to be similar to how the other industries work, where you just sort of paint it in and then place the buildings. Intercity bus system, that seems kind of interesting. Don't think I'm going to use the helicopter service much. Doesn't seem that realistic. Kind of silly. But this aviation club thing looks pretty neat. Transport hubs, always good to have more of those. The waste transfer system is really interesting. Also something that I have been kind of wishing they had implemented a long time ago. Reading this, just by reading this little thing here makes it sound pretty sweet. Base game, you have little garbage dumps, you just plop them down all throughout your city and they pollute and stuff like that. But now, normal cities, big cities, they have one spot mainly where they handle waste and treatment and stuff like that, and little smaller satellite areas, and it seems like they're kind of trying to represent that a bit better here. And then new policies, new maps are good too. Always like to have more maps. I guess I'll just run through the DLC real quick. The only ones I don't have that I can't really comment on is natural disasters. With this one, it just adds the ability to basically destroy your city, via natural disasters, and you have buildings and stuff related to setting up a infrastructure to deal with that kind of thing. If that sort of thing is your bag, you'll probably like it. If not, it's not really my bag, so I don't have that one. So I can't really comment on it, but I imagine you know how it is. If you're into that kind of thing, you'll like it. If not, probably not. Concerts. They call this a mini expansion in here. The reviews on it were pretty bad. It just looked pretty bad. I imagine it's going to be pretty bad. So I've just avoided this one. Really, it just seems kind of half baked and kind of a not really executed that well in the game. Pearls of the East, I think, is free. I should probably just pick this up, but it just adds 3 buildings, specific buildings that have Chinese architecture and design to them. It's free, so I guess I should probably just pick that one up. But it'd be nice if there was an actual theme similar to the European one, and maybe there is in the Steam Workshop. I haven't really looked too much into themes, but I wonder if there are Asian themes you can install. But because I think with the base game, there's just a European one is the only sort of additional theme that you have. So let's see. And then I don't have any of the extra music packs. And then there's like some asset packs made by like a community people, content creators and stuff. If you want to support them, you can buy their stuff. And then you get into the expansion. So if you're just picking up the game, this is a Paradox game, so there's going to be a lot of expansions to come with it. And I think in the cities case, they all do kind of add something to the game. Some a bit more than others, and I am going to rank them a bit here, just to give you an idea. If you can only pick up one or two of these, which ones to get. Generally, the stuff goes on sale a lot, so if you catch it during a sale, you can get the base game and like 3 or 4 expansions for a decent price, and you'll be good to go. Number one would be After Dark. This, I don't think it necessarily adds the day-night cycle to the game, but it adds the day-night budgets for things, and I think it adds the districts for tourism and leisure, and having policies within certain districts, and I think all of that is in the After Dark expansion. That was the first time that they introduced the districts and separate policies. So that's a really good one to get. And then the second one, if you can only get 2, would probably be mass transit for sure. More than anything in the game is a traffic. Oh yeah, SimCity. I did miss SimCity. SimCity, yeah. I should probably say SimCity 2000, the first simulation type game I probably ever played as a kid. Probably one of my all-time favorite games, and this is probably one of the only other city builders I think that has really been able to dethrone it, really, if you will. But in my view, but yeah, SimCity was great. Mass transit. So like I was saying, the game is more of a traffic simulator than anything. And one of the main things that you're doing here is try to just keep a good steady flow of traffic. You don't want any road blockages that could just really cause you troubles. And mass transit just gives you more options for that kind of stuff. Different transit hubs. I think they have the monorail system in there, and then different ways to connect the different transit systems together. There's just more options. So I think that's probably the good one, and in my opinion, the first 2 you should probably get. And then after that, I would probably put Park Life, Industries, kind of on the same level. It kind of depends what you want to do. Park Life, these are when they started doing that mechanic where you sort of paint in an area and then plop it in specific buildings. So like, in the base game, if you want to make a park is just a placeable asset that you just plop down. And in Park Life, you can actually paint in a whole area, so it just gives you more custom control. Parks are one of the main features of certain cities, and being able to have a nice custom thing that you can build there rather than just a single place asset is just nice. You can make a nice big park with a bunch of like forests and rivers and do terraforming and stuff like that. And then Industries is you're doing a similar thing where you're painting out an area for your industry and popping specific buildings in that area related to, if you want to do farming, mining, oil industry, forestry, just all the different main industries of the game, and you have supply chains and stuff like that set up. You can really make a ton of money with Industries. And it's just basically God mode after you get your industry up and running. It's just an endless supply of money. So you might want to pick up that one instead if you're not sure about doing the park thing. And then Campus is basically the same thing where you're painting in a college campus. There are college towns. That is a thing where towns exist, and they're basically just where the university campus is. So that's kind of what they're trying to do there with that one. Just give you more freedom to build a legit college campus rather than to have a just one building called a college. For the most part, if there's a college in a town, it's made up of a pretty large area, many buildings. So that's what Campus does. It just gives you the control to build out a college campus. And then Sunset Harbor is the new one. Haven't played it yet, so not really sure. But it looks like it's just a fishing industry and some new transit systems. And Match Day is stadiums, which is nice, but certainly not as important as the other ones. Snowfall, kind of look out for. It's just really gives you a set of winter maps. It doesn't add seasons to the game, which I really wish it had. So if you get Snowfall, you just get some winter maps, and it's just permanently winter all the time on those maps. The only thing it adds is there's like a heating system that you have to, keep track of. It's just another layer on top of your water system, where you have your water pipes. Now you have to add heated pipes that go over your water pipes to make sure that they stay warm, and that's basically it. There are plows that you just have to always have running, or else the streets, the traffic slows down. So there's like a challenge there with that. But that's it. It's just a constant blizzard all the time. Kind of bummed that they just didn't add seasons into the game, or maybe even just to have as an option. I think that'd be cool if it was winter some of the time. And then Green Cities is just policies on environmental friendly things. I do like it. I do like you can have a green district where people aren't allowed to have gas powered cars. So you see people driving these small hybrid looking cars around, and they have solar panels all on their houses and roofs, and so it's just a nice little way to paint and add some of those sort of buildings and those spots into your city. So I do like them all, really. But to rank them again, start with After Dark, Mass Transit, and then maybe pick up Park Life or Industries. Go from there. But they're all good, really. And then they also, each one of them includes 5 new maps, so it's always just nice to get more maps. You can do mods. Mods are a thing in Steam. Let's see. I don't have mods. I'm not really a big mod guy, usually. I do get assets, though. And these are the ones that I've gotten from the Steam workshop that you're going to probably see me use a lot. First off, interchanges between highways. I just suck at making that stuff by hand. I'm not good at it. So Steam Workshop has a lot of nice pre-made assets that you can just sort of plop down. You do have to pay for. You don't have to pay for the asset, but in the game, you're paying for each tile of road that makes this up as you plop it down. So some are expensive. So I did pick up, 1 or 2 of these, and then I picked up some like just parking lots. Like a lot of cities have parking lots and stuff like that, especially like around stadiums and that kind of thing. And so what it is it's a parking lot, but it's treated as a park. So if you plop it down, it's going to give a boost to the area. So it's kind of probably like cheating in a way, because it's not a real park. It's just a parking lot, but it's treated like a park in the game. So that's how that works. It's just another parking lot, and then 2 more highway interchanges here. These 2 are a little bit cheaper than this one. This one can handle a lot of traffic. These, if traffic starts to get really thick in them, they can slow up a little bit. This one can really get clogged up here, but they do tend to be a little bit cheaper than this guy up here. But this one's really nice. A lot of people can make these by hand. You can find some YouTube tutorials on there about that kind of thing. I just don't want to fiddle with that kind of stuff. That's not what I want to be spending all of my time doing. And then let's see, map themes. Like I mentioned, there's the European thing, or it's not a theme; it's a style. Rather. And then so this European one comes with the base game. If you are using so if you start a new game, let's see here. This is what we're going to do anyway. These are all the different maps. You can see there's a theme right down here, and the ones that say European, for example, if you have back in that content area, if you have that thing switched on, and you go to build on this map, the buildings are going to have that European type theme to them. The wall to wall type, really close knit buildings. So if you want to have a city with that kind of layout and theme, you can. And then it looks like you can load custom themes here. So if that's something you want to go and find, I bet they're on the workshop. I haven't really looked, but I bet that's where you would find like a Asian theme. But for the most part, the only other theme that comes with the base game is this European one. So just be aware if that's switched on and you go to play one of these maps that says European, your buildings are going to look like that, and you might not want them to. So just be aware. So let's see, SH, these are the Sunset Harbor maps. I took a look at these before. This Desert Oasis one seems sweet. It's got the oil here as its primary resource. You could build like a wealthy Arabian desert type city. City 2000 and SimCity 3000 was best. Yes, yeah, SimCity 3000 was neat. I remember after SimCity 2000, they had that urban renewal kit where you could edit the assets in the game if you were one of those types that could do that. I've never had the artistic hand to do that. I wanted to so bad, because when that thing came out, I was so happy. I was like, what? You can change and make and add custom buildings? And then I got it and I got my hands in there and just realized I'm like, oh, I have to make these myself. I can't draw for shit. I'm sure there were packs and stuff you could download, I think, but I just remember being really bummed out that it's like, oh, if I want something that's like super cool, I have to make it myself. Anyway, so it might be cool to do this Desert Oasis one, although the actual fishing industry you're probably not going to really do here. It's going to be like really tiny. So maybe we don't want to do that. So I was thinking this Azure Golf one might be kind of cool. Crater Falls. Yeah, that's mountainous. This has a fair amount of oil in it. Fisher Enclave. This might be kind of neat. Got some farmland. Have a little farm industry here, maybe. I like the farm industries. Swamplands. What's here? Farming, forestry. I'm gonna go with. Oh, this one is European. Maybe we should we switch on the European theme and do a European map? Let's do this one. City name. What are we gonna call it? What should we call the city? Springfield. The most common city name in the USA, I think, is Springfield. There's one in every state. True.